Hi everyone, it's Gela Stevens here again. This is week one, day three of Shift Happens. And today's topic is going to be about digging deeper. Sometimes we have old belief patterns that we haven't even thought of in years, but they're still influencing our life every single day. And until we really delve deeper, we don't even understand. So let me give you an example. I shared my screwdriver story, and there it sits on my mantle. Um, my old belief system about wealth and keeping wealth out of my life on purpose stemmed from, when I dug deep enough, I realized it came from growing up with watching Little House on the Prairie. It was just an innocent TV show, right? Well, it basically, in those days, had me make a decision because what was being played out week upon week before me was Ma and Pa. They were struggling. They sometimes didn't know how to feed their families, but they were kind, and the community would rally to them, and they would rally for other people. And no matter what was going on in the world, if Pa broke his ribs and he had a deadline or he wasn't going to get paid or something, no matter what was going on, they turned it around to make something positive. And Pa would pull out his fiddle and the whole world would be better. But then if you look at the Olsons, so that was the Wilders, the Olsons, they had everything. They could have their newest fashion trend, they could have the dresses, they could have the they owned a supply shop, for God's sakes. They had everything. But the only person even somewhat kind in that family was the father. And the mother, the daughter Nellie, the son, they were all brats. Just absolute stuck up, mean, cruel, nanny boo boo, look what I have and you don't people. And I decided right then and there, I'm not going to be that way. That's not who I am. So I thought I had two choices: be poor and happy and kind, or be rich and a jerk. And that's an easy choice for me. It wasn't until the screwdriver stuff and even beyond that that I realized I started working at a country club, 5-star country club with all like the really wealthy and what kind of airplane do you own people. Um, and I was really hesitant at first because, first of all, my car was a piece of crap and I was going to be embarrassed to even be on that property. But I got over that and I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this a chance. And I met some amazing, amazing people with money that have kindness and generosity and laughter and love in their lives. Yeah, I met some that were jerks, but I've met some people without money that are jerks too. So it really started to open up my eyes that money doesn't equal happiness, but it also doesn't equal misery and bad personality traits. So open up your horizons and expand what your belief systems might be. And again, I didn't really realize how deep this belief system was, that it was running all of my decisions in life. And so your task for today is to dig deeper. Perhaps some of your patterns might be, if I just look at a piece of cake, I gain weight. That might be something that you've truly started to believe. And you know what? If that's what you believe, it's exactly right. There's this hormone called cortisol. So it's a stress hormone. So if even looking at the piece of cake brings you stress, then yes, that is going to cause you weight gain. So it might be that I'm not lovable because my parents did X, Y, or Z, or I was put up for adoption, so I'm not lovable. Or my very people that were supposed to love me the most abused me the most, so therefore I'm not lovable. And not to say that those past traumas aren't devastating, but you can get over those and reprogram to say, again, rising above and looking at it from a higher perspective. You can feel sorry, like, why would this person hurt their child unless there's something really internally hurting and struggling with them. So they're turning their pain outwards to inflict it on somebody else. So that's a very sad place for a soul to be. So if you can get out of the hurt that they caused you, their pattern can stop. Um, my mother was one that stopped a pattern. Her mother was not very loving and kind to her, and there's some circumstances and issues, and her mother wasn't before her wasn't kind to her, so she didn't know any better, and so she didn't know. But my mother was able to stop that, and she was the most loving, respected privacy, kind, cuddle anytime you wanted. That kind of a nurturing mother, and I know I've paid that forward to my own children. But thank you to my own mother for being able to break that pattern. So we all have those decisions to make. We can play the victim to say, well, I am the way I am because of the way I was raised. Or you can shift and you can decide, I'm not going to be that way because that sucked and I didn't like growing up that way. So I'm not going to do that to my children. So we all have a lot more power than we give ourselves credit for. And it all starts with awareness. So this week, task 3 is to dig deeper. Ask yourself questions about where does this struggle truly come from? Because we are keeping ourselves in that struggle for some reason. So it must serve us in some way, shape, or form. So when we uncover and have that, oh my God, it's because of Little House on the Prairie, and I don't have to be poor to be happy, and I don't have to be a jerk if I become wealthy. So that was one of my aha moments that I'm glad to share with you. So kind of like chew on that. You can ask me questions at any time. I'll be looking at our community and answering questions back and forth. And I can relate any other future videos to answer some of your questions as well. It can be private if you want it to be private, or it can be for everybody. So just let me know. But so that is your task for day 3. So I will see you all tomorrow. Namaste.